crap. So, totally forgot I bought all this meat like last week at Costco and some yesterday and have to vacuum seal it, so I figured let me just teach you people how to vacuum seal. So, I have the Food Saver, this will be a quick video. I got the Food Saver brand vacuum sealer from Costco. It's pretty sweet. It's got the roll here. I got the big roll on. This is the 11-inch, I believe. Anyway, I'm doing pork chops. They got nice cut pork chops at Costco. These literally had last sale date of yesterday, so I got to get these literally in the freezer. So basically, you cut your bags, put your seal, and then you vacuum seal it. So I'm just gonna. This is easy. You just put it in, and it seals it without vacuuming. And then the other side, you have to stuff it, and then you put your bag in here, and it's gonna vacuum seal. Let's try it right now. And there we go. You wait for that. Once it goes full green and then it'll go red, it vacuums pretty hard. It's a very good vacuum sealer. I gotta be honest, very happy with it. Spend the money, it's worth it. Plus if you buy it from Costco, you can return it in like 6 years after it breaks and get the next latest version. So try that one more time. You gotta do it smooth. The bags are like textured on one side and smooth on the other. Smooth side has to be down. I don't know why, but let's put this in again. Give it another sealing. Yes, easy. It's a very powerful machine in my opinion. It works well. I'm gonna be doing steaks in a minute. I got skirt steak. It was on sale at Stu's. Skirt steak was on sale at Stu's. $5.99 a pound. You can't beat that. It's a very good price. And then I got some porterhouse steak on sale, $6.99 a pound, also a great price. I will come back probably in a little bit to show you the steak sealing, and I'll probably do the bag making as well. This way you get a full... Whoa! You'll get a full look at how to make the bag and how to seal. I kind of started this in the middle of what I was doing. I'm like, I'm going to seal some meat. Let me make a video. Well, there you go. I'll be back shortly. Okay, so before I can actually vacuum seal the skirt steak, I do need to cut it into portions. I like to do that, so I'm gonna just quickly portion out my skirt steak. You wanna just sort of... There's 2.7 pounds of meat here, so I'm figuring, well, depends how much of a fat ass I want to be, but that could be 1, 2, or more likely 3 meals, I would say. So I'm gonna make this into 3 bags, because you don't cook this whole anyway. A skirt steak, you cook in sections. So there. Beautiful. Skirt steak's awesome. Totally forgot to grab paper towels. You want to dry your meat. Do this sort of on the quick. There we go. Beautiful. Alright. We got more meat here. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Skirt steak is great for marinating. Probably do a video on that at some point. Skirt steak does well with that. It's got a lot of connective tissue, a lot of grain, but does well with when you do it in a marinade. Never marinate beef for more than like half an hour because it doesn't need it. It's going to tenderize the meat too much, and then it's going to be tough. You want to just marinate it quickly with whatever nice flavors. I'll do a video when I do the skirt steak for sure. It's going to be good. So here we go. On there. Take this up. Just kind of get off the excess moisture on the meat. Pat it out. Nothing crazy. Again, you're going to be cooking this at a later point. Well, I'm cooking this at a later point. I'm just doing this for ease of cooking later on. Alright, so let's see what we got here. The easy, like, you can cook skirt steak in the stove, on the stove top, or I like to do it in the broiler, in the broiler actually, because it's just makes life easier. Let's clean up. It gets hot enough. It's usually, otherwise you need like a pretty big griddle surface on your stove top to get it all, because it takes up a lot of surface area. It's a very thin cut of meat, so try not to waste any of this. I'm just gonna do a small bit of trimming. It's just fat. Okay, keeping that little bit there. So I will say, And no, to answer your question before you ask or say in the comment, no, I'm not going to be weighing out my portions. I'm just going to cut this into pieces that are more manageable. So if you notice, the grain's running this way, and your instinct is going to be, after you cook it, I'm going to cut it into pieces or cut it with a fork and knife and eat it. That is totally wrong. You're going to end up with garbage. What you're supposed to do is, you could cook this whole piece or cook the whole thing as it is. Like if you had a barbecue, you can lay the whole thing across. That's great. But then you need to cut it into pieces like, say, that big or so. Turn it sideways like that, so the grain's running this way. And then you do nice, thin slices of meat. You have like meat spaghetti when you're done, and it's gonna literally fall apart in your mouth. The most delicious, tender, tasty meat. Like seriously, super good. That's the way you want to do it. So what do we got here? 4 pieces, I'd say. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, that's cool. So you cut it on the grain. You cook these steaks. Literally a fatty pocket, which is okay. You can totally leave this stuff, but craziness. You don't want to go too crazy, because if you get rid of all the fat, it's going to literally fall apart. So I'll just do a quick. This is a giant chunk of fat though, so we're going to kill that. I can stay like that. It's fine. Okay. On to the next piece. Done. We'll go with. This is super thin on the end. Again, you could leave this fat, but no need to at this point. This is like super thin. I don't know if you can catch that online, but super thin on this end, whereas on the other end you get a much, if you look, the difference. Totally thin on one end, thick on the other. Alright. I like to separate the thin and the thick pieces, which I totally effed up. There we go. And we'll, because you want to cook similar pieces for similar thick pieces at the same time, because they'll have similar cooking times. You want to make this medium rare. This thin side is like a 1 minute tops, 30 seconds maybe on one side, 30 seconds on the other, and you're done. Let it rest and then slice it up into beautiful, great for fajitas. You could do stir fry with this. We just did a stir fry video recently, so anyway, I like to cut it into, there we go, it's good. Okay, it's a little sharp knife's always a good idea when you're butchering meat or doing anything in the kitchen, to be honest with you, because the most dangerous thing you could work with is a dull knife, because dull means you have to force it. If you have to force it, you can't control it. If you can't control it, you're gonna cut yourself. Sharp knives, only way to go. So if some idiot's like, oh, that knife's too sharp for me to use, you smack them like hard and call them retarded, and then educate them. No such thing as a knife that's too sharp to use. Just a person too stupid, I suppose. That's my rant. Sharp knives. Probably do a knife sharpening video at some point. I'm probably going to cut myself, which will be hysterical. The way I determine if I'm going to remove the fat or not is if you can't feel it. Obviously, you're watching me, but like the fat's like super hard. Like this is like a chunk of fat. It's super hard. Time to go. All right. Just gonna give that a quick Perfect. All right. I'll be back when I'm sealing this up. Probably just for the T-bones in this, and then we'll be done. There's no trimming on the T-bones. They're just ready to go. I'll be back shortly. Okay, so change of plans. After opening the T-bones, I realized I do need to do a little trimming, so I might as well record that. So, T-bone, porterhouse, literally the same cut, but this would be called a T-bone because the size of the fillet is tiny. This will be considered a porterhouse because the size of the fillet is gigantic. You have the strip steak or sirloin, and you have your fillet, tenderloin, whatever, and that's T-bone. There's the bone, T. Anyone ever see the movie Law Abiding Citizen? And he uses the T-bone to stab someone. Pretty cool scene. Anywho, so want to trim up some of this before I seal it up. Makes it easier for when you're ready to cook it. Just less work at that point. So I'm just gonna quickly, carefully just come up on the, sorry, really I tilt my head, that's annoying for you guys. Try to keep my head straight. Just pull this off, come close to the skin. This should just kind of tear off actually. Just trying to take any meat with it the best you can. This is like literal skin, not just straight fat. So you don't need this. Just curls up, makes it tough on the end. So we'll just sort of, there we go. Alright, pull it off. You don't want to go too crazy because the fat is flavor, but there's a point to that. You don't need to have, like, if it comes off with your finger, you can literally put your finger under it and tear it off. It can come off. You can definitely cut back on the fat on this. And this is coming from someone that likes to butter their steak, which when I do a steak video, I will totally show you that you should butter the steak. Because these are 1.5 inches thick. You don't really do these in the pan all the way. You start in the pan and then you finish in the oven, a nice warm oven. That is much better control and you won't dry it out. This tip will leave. This will be a fatty tip, but that's okay. It's a lot of meat intertwined in it, so we'll leave it. That one, I'm not going to go through all these, but that's essentially what you got to do. You want to take off this thick bit of skinish fat here. Just get underneath. Do this one real quick. Carefully. Follow it along where it meets the meat. It should literally just separate actually. You can pull it off here, but then there's like this little skin. You want to take this out with it too. That's why you gotta use the knife. There we go. And we'll just follow it along. You could also, if you do have like the thick fat on the edge, you don't want to cut it off. You should score it. Like that, just cut it just to where it meets the meat, then it won't curl up or whatever when you cook it. When it shrinks, it'll just, it won't pull the meat with it. It'll just shrink on the meat. Anywho, I'm just going to trim the rest of these, then I'll go to the sealing of everything, so be back soon. Okay. Am I recording?
Now it's recording, yes.
Cool. Wasn't sure I had some technical difficulties. So, I butchered up all my steaks. One's already done. Here's my skirt steak ready to go. This is a pre-made bag, so I didn't have to bother with that. This happens to fit the skirt steak perfectly. But this, so what you do is you have the bags come on a roll. You pull them out to the desired length, which this is for the steak. Boom. Anyway, this will fit those. And you pull it down, zip it across, it'll cut. So I've cut the bags already. But then, so now you have holes on both sides because it's just a open bag. What you do is you set the machine to seal only, no vacuum. Give it a moment. And then a nice seal on the other side. Good, nice, beautiful seal. Fold it back. We'll open this up. Let's grab one of these. Yeah, it's a very tiny fillet on this side. I forgot if it's the front of the back of the cow where it tapers off, or it gets, the fillet gets bigger or smaller. But anywho, so in the bag, and now I'll seal these two, and that'll be it. Smooth side down in this machine. Set it to moist. Stick it in. It's easy as that. Wait for it to finish when the light goes out, as I said before. Perfect. And we'll quickly do, and my doorbell rings. Quickly do this. Seal. Real quick. And there we go. Come on now. Come on now. There we go. Sealed meat, pork chops, skirt steak, T-bone. Things are happening. Food's going to be cooking. I will see you next time.